How your business can survive the recession.
Well, welcome back. Today's topic has been the recession, and we've talked to business owners on how they've been affected. We also spoke to Shane Newman, the federal member for Blair, and asked him how the government is helping businesses get through the tough times. Now I have two experts with me in business, Julie Spain, who deals with psychology in business, and we also have Brian Brown, who's a business advisor with Better Business Now. Thank you for being on the show today.
Hi, Nicole.
Yeah. So with the global financial crisis, just firstly to you, Brian, from a business perspective, how has that affected Australia?
Yeah, sure, Nicole. Look, that's a really complex question, really, and there's a lot of different answers to it. It really depends on what industry you're in. If you're in the mining industry,
yeah,
probably not too much affected. If you're into the normal trade businesses and you're not relying on those mining industries, you fairly well have quite a few problems.
Yeah. And so what do you see as, people can do in that area, like in terms of getting through those tough times? What sort of...
Sure. Look, it's about being smarter.
Yeah.
And Julie's a good one to talk to about mindset on this, and I'll just quickly brief on that. It's about getting yourself in a place where you're not going to participate in a recession.
Yeah.
And what can you do, instead of being a victim about it, what can you do constructively to put things in place to get yourself out of that?
Yeah. So what would you suggest to business owners, some steps that they could take?
Look, some simple strategies that we always talk about with clients is one is tracking. You really need to know where your inquiries are coming from, where you're spending your money, and what return on investment you are getting for that money spent.
Yeah. So basically people need to know their costs and their profit margins and things like that.
You need to know your margins.
Yeah.
We see a lot of businesses having a lot of problems because they don't understand margins or know their margins.
Yeah. And with Extreme Skates, they were mentioning that, businesses going online, so they've had their retail business but having to move online. Have you seen that happen in the business?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we need to change for the times of what we're doing. Traditional marketing, we did have stores. Yeah. Now it's going online. It's more so from aspect of where you spend your own money, and if you're spending money on rent, obviously that's dead money, as opposed to obviously you need to get more money in your business and make profit out of that. But the example you gave, a very niche business, if they market it well, will obviously do very well, obviously as she was doing too.
Yeah. And have you seen that where a lot of businesses are sort of moving online, or? Yeah,
we are seeing that. It's more so out of necessity as opposed to not knowing how to. And a lot of businesses are finding out how to do that just so they can compete with other businesses.
And what about things like staffing issues and customer service and that in tough times? What would you recommend?
Okay, that's a tricky problem. When we're talking about staff, it's about customer service. Customer service is, if we look back in the old days, when we used to have service stations, people used to come out and serve you. That was service. Yeah. Hence the name service stations. That we don't see today. I think as the public, we've put up too long with bad service, and I think now staff need to go another level and actually provide good service for people.
Yeah, okay, well thanks Brian. So from a psychological aspect, Julie, what do you see has been happening, with the global financial crisis occurring, how that's affected people, and then how can they get through that as well?
In this area we've had a double whammy, haven't we,
Yes,
really?
we
Because
have.
we've been very badly affected by the floods.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that that's affected businesses. But you know what, I think business people are pretty resilient. In fact, to get through business, you have to be pretty resilient. You have to be able to bounce back when the going gets tough. Yeah. So people who are still in business are actually optimistic, and are being creative and thinking about ways around issues, because I love history, okay? Yeah. It's one of the things that I like, and if you look at history, and if you look at economic history, financial history, is there anything unusual going on here?
That's true.
This is part of our normal cyclical clock financially. So I think that a lot of business, and particularly successful business, know that this is part of the course. Yeah. And like I said, if they're still in there, they're doing well.
They're doing well. So obviously being persistent and consistent, having that mindset and the motivation is very important.
Look, every bit of research tells us that up to 90% of success, I've seen figures 80, 88, but 90% of success is to do with our mindset. So that's about our set of beliefs that sit at a subconscious level, a deep level, the way we think. And it dictates our attitudes, it dictates our behaviour, and ultimately it dictates our outcomes.
Yeah.
So we can work on that, we can change that. I love the point just then about the customer service, and I think I can take that a step further with regards to service. Albert Einstein said to us that the purpose of life is to serve. So I think that the business owners who are getting that, the difference between customer service and that an entrepreneur actually serves, are going to be successful.
Yeah,
and it is different. It's an attitude.
Yeah. And so, Brian, with new businesses starting, what would you recommend to them to going into?
Okay, look at your exposure rates. Be smart about how you set your business up. A lot of people we say now is certainly look at the internet.
Yeah.
Look at your margins and set up your business right from the beginning. And also find good people to help you.
Yeah.
It's like if you got accused of a serious crime, you go to a lawyer. If you've got complicated tax issues, you go to an accountant. But when it comes to marketing, people tend to do it themselves. It's a profession in itself. So find good people to back you up.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much for both of you, Julie and Brian, for joining us on the show today. Okay. Well, Julie Spain holds regular seminars to help boost your business. Dates for upcoming seminars can be found on the Sigma Mindset website at www.sigmamindset.com.entrepreneur. And Brian Brown has an offer for viewers of this program that Better Business Now will send someone out for a 90-minute face-to-face consultation to help your business. The package is usually valued at $475, but mention this show and they'll do it for free.
Well, that's it, Nicole. End of the show. Thank you so much for your company today.
No, thank you. It was my pleasure.
And we thank you for joining us too. Make sure you join us again same time next week right here on Channel 31. This is Good Business. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.